both sides of the conversation, family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so I'm excited. You know, every Thursday is our Educational Thursday, where we have different phenomenal guests come on and educate the community with a PowerPoint presentation to give the gems, the sauce, and information to the community. And today we have another important conversation that's going to be happening, a presentation about life insurance. I think this is another important conversation that we have to continue to have. Especially with all the violence that's been taking place in our communities. The loss of life is happening rapidly. And I am tired of watching these GoFundMes and different things of that nature. So tonight's presentation is very important for community. But before we get started, I just want to go over a couple of announcements for everyone. One, everybody, I am excited to say that we have some phenomenal Black women athletes that are doing amazing things in this country. And we have a bunch of them going to the Olympians. So please, community, support the Tokyo Olympics, support our young sisters that's going to be out there, and especially our sister Sha'Carri Richardson. That little sister can run her little tail off. So I'll be watching the track and field and keeping up with what's going on with her and Simone and the rest of them. Please support them. It's going to be phenomenal. This Olympic Games this year is going to be nice to see the representation. So pumped up and excited about that. One, want to give condolences to the families. I know some people might not know, but today there was a major complex collapse in Florida. I know there was some loss to life and people are still trapped. So just want to send our prayers out there to those families because that was very tragic today. And then as well as the violence, here in San Francisco, across the Bay Area, it's been a violent week. The shootings continue. A lot of lives have been lost. So I also just want to give prayers out to those families and community. We have to work together and keep fighting against this killing that's going on in our community. This gun violence is increasing. Our young people and people in the community are being impacted, and we have to work together to stop this violence. It is sad when I'm getting emails from community and from the elders, and they're afraid to go to the stores. They're afraid to move around because they just don't know when gunfire is going to take place. I mean, we've been having these shootings happen in broad daylight, early in the morning, late in the evening. So we just got to work harder and keep pushing. We got to get this under control, and it takes the community, it takes the leaders. We're going to be putting together some stuff with community, but we got to show some love. We got to get the love in the community. This killing has to stop. We cannot have the elders of our community afraid to come out and do their day-to-day businesses. business. So, with that being said, we're going to keep working. We'll do our part, get the information. We're going to be having a part 2 to this violence conversation that we have. We got to come up with some solutions. And I know a lot of it is tied to resources, and I know a lot of things are happening, but we got to get these resources to the community because it's very important. I mean, this stuff that's going on, we have to curb this violence. So very important stuff. Also, with that being said, here in the Bay Area, across California, the water restrictions are tightening. We've been sharing information on all of our social media handles. Please, community, let's do our part. Solidarity, conserve water as much as we can. We know this year we got hit hard with the drought. There was a low snowfall, low rainfall this year in California. We've been impacted again. I know certain counties are being more restrictive than others, but please, community, let's do our part. Be conscious of the showers that we're doing, washing our cars, gardening. Let's be mindful when we're running water to conserve so that we don't get these blackouts. I know in some counties they are letting people use certain days. It's starting to get more and more restrictive. So let's do our part as a community and support each other and be mindful of the water usage when we're taking showers and doing our normal things day to day. So wanted to get that information out there as well. And then also the city and county of San Francisco are requiring 35,000 of their employees to be vaccinated by COVID. That once it's been fully approved by the FDA, a lot of organizations, a lot of cities and counties are now making it mandatory. And it's sad, but it is what it is, people. A lot of employers are saying you have to be fully vaccinated to continue your employment. So again, I know this is going to be a controversial thing. We'll have a conversation about it. But a lot of the city and counties, a lot of the college institutions, a lot of the corporate businesses are making people get the vaccination before they can return, are making it part of their employment. And I know that sucks, but we'll have a conversation about that coming up soon. But just be aware, there are still vaccination sites across the Bay Area and across this country that are still giving free vaccinations. Please consider it. We want to get out of this pandemic as fast as possible. I know here in California, things are kind of opening back up. Things are happening. But again, they are requiring people be vaccinated for work. So just wanted to put that out there. And then our upcoming shows this week, this Sunday, we're going to have a powerful conversation about reparations for the Black community. Looking forward to that show. It's going to be powerful, powerful, powerful. Also, community, we still have a few slots for panelists. Sorry, on our end, we made a mistake. And I know a couple people reached out to me. They were trying to book and couldn't book. We had a glimpse with the booking. We got it fixed. You could go to our website, bothsidesoftheconversation.org or www.bsotc.org, and you can still sign up for this Sunday's reparation conversation. We still have a few spots left. So if you feel like that's one of the conversations that you would like to be a part of, and hopefully we get some of the fellas to participate, because I see we have a lot of the sisters showing up for this conversation, but we need some of the men of the community to come on so we can have this conversation about reparations. I can tell you now, it's going to be very colorful. It's going to be very passionate. It's going to get a little heated when we're talking about these reparations. But be patient, community. We're going to keep it real, and we're going to have a good time with this. And it's just going to be one of those conversations. I already know it's going to go over, so be patient with us. But we will have that conversation this Sunday. And then next Tuesday, we'll have our Hidden Gem segment. We'll have another segment of highlighting our Black and brown businesses, as well as community leaders that are doing phenomenal things to impact our community positively, because we need some of that positivity right now with these dark clouds of these shootings on us. And then next Thursday, we're going to have Officer Lim come on and do 4th of July safety presentation for community as we get closer to 4th of July. I know across the Bay Area, there's been plenty of fireworks and bombs going off all the time. And then they're going to come on and educate the community about the policies and different things and the safety for the young people in the community as well as our elders. So looking forward to that educational presentation as well. And then here at Both Sides of the Conversation, we are still looking for volunteers, guests, co-hosts, different things. Please reach out to us if you want to volunteer and do some stuff with us. We have some phenomenal things that we're going to be putting together as we continue to grow this platform and build it up, as well as donors and sponsors. Everybody, we are still looking for that support. We want to get to this mobile part of Both Sides of the Conversation so we can do more and more in the community, especially with these stories and the narrative shift and the different things that we want to highlight We want to be mobile, so we need the community support. We need sponsor support. We need the donations to help us out, continue to build this platform to where it needs to be and where we wanted to see it to go. There is a place that we know is going to go, and we're going to get there slowly but surely. So with that being said, I'm going to close my mouth and get into tonight's presentation. We're going to go ahead and introduce our guest who's coming back again. She's phenomenal. She talked about financial literacy before and talking about investments. And tonight she's going to have a powerful conversation about the different types of life insurance, the information that our community needs to have. And I'm just excited to have her back tonight. So I'm going to introduce Miss Lamitra Edwards. She's going to be talking about the different types of insurance and coverage. What do you need? Are you underinsured, overinsured? So with that being said, I'm going to bring her in and have her further introduce herself to community and then kick off tonight's educational presentation.
Let me see.
You unmuted now. I think you was muted. Okay.
Oh, yep. Hey, how you doing? Hello. Thank you. I am so glad to be back. I'm honored to be back on this platform. Thank you, Mr. John Henry, for having me back to speak to the people about life insurance. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about the different types of coverage out there, pros and cons, and, just looking at your options of what might be available to you. But before we get started, let me just tell you guys a little bit about myself. I have been on here before, but you may not have seen me. So my name is Lamitra Edwards, also known as Lamitria My Aunt on Facebook and YouTube. I am the technical director, owner, CEO of Black Balance Fitness and Nutrition LLC, Black Balance Fitness TV on YouTube, and blackbalancefitness.com, which is an actual sporting goods website. I am into fitness and finances. And so that's why I chose life insurance. Life insurance is closely tied to your health and wellness and your finances. I am from the Bay Area. I grew up all over the Bay. I went to 5 different high schools. I am the middle child of 5 children. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, not in that order. And I just started actually in the financial services field about a year ago. Right when COVID started, I lost my job in home care and had to stay at home with my daughter. But really, it was a blessing in disguise because I was able to really dive in and do something that I feel is valuable to the community and learn and present information and resources that I know can really help people. And so I'm so glad and so excited to be here tonight and letting you guys know a little bit more about what we have to offer. So tonight I am here with Fit Financial, Better Together, Carpe Diem Hierarchy, Unity Hierarchy with PHP Agency. We are a financial services firm specializing in life insurance products. I am a stay-at-home mom. Homeschool my daughter, and I, teach people about financial knowledge and share what I've learned on my journey to becoming, fit. Our tagline for Black Balance Fitness TV is physically, mentally, and spiritually fit. Because I think those are the most important areas for people to target and work on. When you get into this type of, this area in life where you want to elevate. And so I'm here to help people do that. I want to help people get financially fit. FIT, FIT stands for Freedom, Innovation, Transformation. And that's what I'm hoping to spark in the community with our new information. So I'm going to share my screen and then tell y'all a little bit about the company and how we work, how we do. So let me see. Just a second here. All right. I believe you all should be able to see my screen now. So PHP agency.
We can see it. It's up.
You see it? Okay. So PHP agency, bringing back life into the insurance industry, is our motto. We want to change the trajectory and what people think that insurance looks like. Most of the time when you think of insurance, especially if you grew up, back in the 80s and 90s, you're thinking, older white male in a suit, going door to door, trying to sell you something you don't really need. But from what you can see here, we've obviously changed the tides in this. I really love that I got a chance to come onto this platform because it gives me a chance to show that people in the Black and brown communities are striving for better. We are pushing for a change in our legacy and in our generations, and we're standing out amongst business owners and entrepreneurs, especially in the financial industry at a high level. Just last year, the Black African American population in PHP agency was closer to 25% and now up to 32%. Same thing with the female population is growing up. And I think it's a great thing. And I think that it shows that we are really here for our own communities. We're really here to help people and not here to just sell you a product that, one day you might not really need, Also, one thing that I wanted to point out is that over 89% of people in this industry had no previous experience in the financial industry. So it's something that is easy to learn. It's not something that you have to have some type of college education or anything like that to learn about your financial knowledge and how to invest properly. So don't be intimidated when it comes to financial education. So if you've seen my presentation before, you probably heard some of this information. A disturbing lack of financial education, which is what I was just talking about. It says here it leads to poor savings, financial stress, fear, and uncertainty. And we definitely know that. And I think that a lot of it, like I said, is intimidation. Financial education, it sounds like it's something, very complicated, and really it's not. You just need someone who is experienced and patient and can really take you through and show you your options. I think that we have to put a little bit more effort towards not just learning these things for ourselves, but passing down the financial knowledge from generation to generation. We can't keep complaining about the schools not teaching about economics and banking and things if we refuse to actually put in the effort to teach those things at home as well. So, where that starts is taking a look at your own financial portfolio and educating yourself on your options. So second, we have insufficient insurance protection. 56% of households do not have an individual life insurance policy. So that means that you have your own policy that you own yourself, not something from your job. Those policies don't go with you when you leave the job. A lot of times they don't cover incidents that happen outside the job, and most times they only cover the person who's working the job, and not always include the family. And so it's very, very important that even if you are protected by your workers' comp, that you have a sufficient life insurance plan. It's important, especially in these days and ages. You know, Mr. Henry was just talking about all of the violence that we're facing right now today as a community. It's important to know that if something were to happen, that your family is protected and financially you won't have to suffer another loss and another tragedy. So my third point here is alarming consumer debt. Average credit card debt per household is over $16K. The average American carries 3.5 credit cards. You know, we get into debt because, going back to the top, we don't have the proper financial education. And it's important that we learn about how to get to these problems before they get out of hand, you know, and especially with credit cards. Nothing against credit or anything. It's absolutely important to have good credit. But I don't think that the financial education for credit debt is being passed down in our households in a sufficient manner. Obviously, not enough for us to, you know, deal with the disturbing amount of debt per household that we're accruing. And having a way to sort of combat that with different types of savings and investments and securities is important to know. Speaking of securities, failing Social Security tax income is projected to be insufficient to pay benefits. It says by 2016, that passed. Without changes by 2037, the Social Security Trust Fund will be exhausted. I'm pretty sure it is. You can see right under that, I'm going right into depleting pension funds. I don't think most companies even offer pension anymore. So when you think about retirement, obviously we can't work until we die, you know, and people live well into their 80s, 90s, and 100s. What do you do when you can no longer work? Social Security itself was never meant to be a full replacement for your retirement income. Social Security is supposed to be a supplement, and it's not a very high supplement as it is. I think that the average person on Social Security maybe gets about $600 a month. I couldn't imagine trying to live off of that amount of money. I don't think that anybody can live off of $600 a month. And it's really sad when we see our elders at Walmart's working as greeters and things like that because they can't afford to stop working because they did not plan accordingly. So this is what I want to talk about today: different life insurance plans, investing in your future, and making sure that you have lifetime income and financially stable enough to not only care for yourself as you get into older age, but also leave behind a legacy of generational wealth rather than generational poverty. So looking at this here, we have 90% of people in America that make under $100,000 a year. Your average person is not touching six figures in their lifetime. They don't even think it's possible. And it's really unfortunate because 100K is like the new broke. You touching six figures barely, and we're still not making it, you know. And so we have this 10% that are making over 100K, and they're not working anywhere near as hard or anywhere near as many hours as the people in the 90 percentile. And so the reason that they're able to do this is because of the way that they invest their money. The 90%, we are taught to go to banks. Nothing wrong with banks. Very safe. You know, it doesn't have a lot of interest. You might get up to 3%, although I don't think any places have more than 3% on any type of savings or CD accounts. I think that the highest interest savings account would be like 2 point something percent. It's not even a full 3%. They're usually still renting their houses. They don't own. And by age 65, like I said, they're still working as Walmart greeters or whatever, you know, job that they can find at that type of age, which is a tough job in itself. The 10% that are making over 100K have access to not just the things that are listed here as far as mutual funds, real estate, insurance, but it's not that they have access to those products and the 90% don't. Is that they have access to financial advisors and people like me who are learning and getting educated in these different types of products and services that can advise them on how to move forward with investing their money. Because that they use real estate and insurance to invest, typically the 10% are homeowners, and they're gaining a lot more interest in their accounts than we would at a bank. So by the time they hit age 65, they're retired. They're buying their, you know, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. They're vacationing in South Florida and having the time of their lives. And everybody's wondering how. So here's how. You know, here's how we're going to move the 10% to the 90%. 401k rollovers. 401ks started being offered as pensions started to drop off. And they're good. There's nothing wrong with 401ks. Are great, but you have to know how to work them, how to manage them, how to fund them. And so those are things that we can teach you when you come in. IRAs and Roth IRAs, personal IRAs are a very good vehicle to put your money into, especially if you're looking to have market gain and lifetime income. Final expense. Final expense is a huge topic in households. Final expense deals with our elders. A lot of times we end up having family feuds after someone passes. You know, we lose a parent or a grandparent, and, you know, the first thing we do is doing the best to help out with, you know, the funeral expenses. Well, most mortuaries places only give you 3 to 5 days to come up with the funds, which can be anywhere from 10 to 15, 20,000, depending on how you choose to send your people out in style. And one of the hugest fights among family members, the things that breaks up brothers and sisters, the things that makes aunties and nieces and nephews never speak again, is not being able to pay. You know, even the person who you think is doing the best, even if you are doing the best out of your family, it's most likely that you don't have $13,000 to drop in 3 days. You know, that's where final expense comes in, where You can get a low cost coverage to take care of, those inevitable days. Life insurance. Life insurance is not death insurance. Life insurance is life insurance. It has living benefits. It's a lot different than a final expense. It's something that is more of a long term. If you're looking at where your finances are going to be in 5 years, 10 years, you need to look at life insurance and annuities, and the living benefits within that. And then, of course, debt settlement. Talk to anybody in the financial services industry, any segment, they're going to tell you to take care of your debt and take care of your credit first off top. Even if you're going into real estate, no matter what you're doing, debt settlement is definitely something that you have to look into. So these are our products and services that we offer as far as Fit Financial, powered by PHP Agency. Here's a look at some of our partners. Fidelity, Lincoln, Accordion Life, John Hancock, AIG, American National, Mutual of Omaha, National Life Foresters, Mediator. These are just some of the top A+ rated companies that we work with that helps us provide these products and services that you see here on the screen. So what the wealthy do. Now, this is just a look at a comparison between risk and reward, right? So this is not to turn you off to banks or stocks. They're very important. It's very important to diversify your portfolio. I would never tell you to choose one over the other, but I would say to make sure that you invest in financial vehicles that will help you to accrue tax-free income well into retirement and leave behind a family estate. Because I'm going to say it again, we are going to stop this generational poverty thing. We're going to stop passing that down to our kids. We're going to give them not just the knowledge, but also the estate to back it up. So if you look at the green line, that shows you what it's like investing in a bank. It's very safe. You know what I'm saying? It's green. You see it's green money there. It's going up. There's no downs. It's going up, but it's a very, very low rate of return. Like I said, your average in interest that you're gaining is between 0 to 3%. So it's not very much. With stocks, a lot of people are getting into stocks, especially with Bitcoin and all of the different things that are coming up now. And it's so much easier to invest now, because they have different apps like Dave and Robinhood and things like that. And that's great. It's great, but it is very, very risky. While you do have, a good risk of, a high rate of return, you also have the risk of losing it all. Which you can see when the recessions hit, the stocks really, really took a toll. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. So it's not something I would probably bank your whole financial future on, which is why we get to what the wealthy do. They make sure that they put a certain amount into guarantees. They bet on the S&P 500, and the way that insurance products work, you're able to take advantage of the market gains without suffering the market losses. So then, like I said, when you think about moving forward in your financial life, not just 5-10 years in the future, but into retirement and also into family estate planning, afterlife planning, you want to make sure that you have some tax-free money. You want to make sure that you have some type of income, that lifetime income, and you want to make sure that you're protected from market losses. So the 10% and the 90%. Like I said before, the 10%, they invest, they have their 401ks, all of their different things that they can invest in, because they started with building a foundation first, making the investment into products that help them grow a financial foundation that isn't easily shakeable. So when you don't have to worry about what will happen in an emergency, if you'll be able to pay for it or not, it makes it a little bit easier to save, you know? And then, as I said, having insurance builds an instant estate, so that you're able to also take that savings, take what you have in the bank, and get loans with it, like home loans, car loans, things like that. And once you're established, you're able to invest and grow from there. But that's not what we're being taught in the 90%. Although we're educated and we work, we're paying into our 401k more than we're paying into our life insurance. Actually, majority of people don't even have life insurance. Average person probably pays more for their phone and their car insurance than they do for their life insurance, which is a little bit weird to me, you know, and not that I'm outside of that, just that I never thought to put two and two together. Like, I never thought about how, you know, insuring my phone, like, because my phone might drop and break, and, you know, things like that. My car might get in a car accident, and then my car would be broken and I would need to get it fixed. But I never thought about the risk and the danger that my body is in every day, and I don't have insurance on it, you know? I mean, I do now, but then I didn't have insurance on it. And so it's important that we have that foundation, we give that foundation to ourselves. See, being the generation to kind of really start this wave going, we have to look future tense. In the future, this conversation won't be the same. My daughter won't be telling people to go and invest in life insurance. She will already be living from that legacy, you know? So her children won't have to worry about, you know, building a foundation. They'll have to worry about keeping the family legacy afloat, you know, keeping the family foundation going for the generations beyond them. So, you know, if you start backwards, if you start with work, you're paying into your 401k, you're buying a home, trying to save if you can, you really have nothing left for a foundation. And then if you try to invest in a foundation, it seems like it's weighing you down. So now we have some options where things are a little bit more affordable, and you can build your foundation through life insurance, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. So for this example, we use the Universal Life, the IUL, just because it shows a little bit more about the vehicle, how it's protected from the market, how you gain, eliminating taxes, and growing cash value. But there are other types of life insurance as well. You do not have to have a universal life insurance policy, a whole life insurance policy, but you do have to have sufficient coverage. You know, you want to have enough to really help your family. I would say that the average person needs about $1 million in coverage. You shouldn't really have less than that, especially if you have a family. If you have children and things like that, for sure you need $1 million in coverage. It's more affordable than you think. In this illustration, use the amount of $250, but really life insurance is based, even though it's based on age and health, it also takes into account your budget and your income. And so we can absolutely customize life insurance policies to be able to fit a family who at this point doesn't have the good financial habits and wealth that it takes to really build. So it's really more about inheriting these different habits and learning about how we can change this illustration that we're looking at. We want this 90% to be more towards the 10%. We don't want to keep seeing people losing their family members and not being able to grieve properly because they have to throw car washes and build GoFundMes and things like that just to be able to send them off properly. We don't want to keep seeing families go from generation to generation, constantly struggling and not understanding why we can't get out of this lower middle class lifestyle. When really it's just as simple as redirecting your investments, putting a little less here and a little more there. And so that's what I kind of want to help people with. So I'm going to go through 3 types of insurance. This is a little presentation I put together with Better Together Financial and Insurance. So life insurance, 2 of the most catastrophic things that can happen to anyone in the times when you'll need life insurance the most is, 1, if you die too soon, you'll need the death benefit. And then if you live too long, you'll need the living benefits and savings, right? So reasons why people buy life insurance in the first place is either to provide for a funeral, pay off a mortgage or a home, save for college tuition for their children. A lot of people leave money to charities or communities. A lot of people like to pay off taxes. They plan for that with their life insurance and retirement savings. Income replacement, something I touched on a lot of times. You don't want to get to an age where you can't work and you don't have enough income coming in. And as I showed before, Social Security is not about to save us. So very important. And lastly, paying off debt. When someone passes, that debt doesn't pass with them. It gets, brought down to the next family member. And so to avoid not just a catastrophic financial failure, but to the family feuds and things that brings along, life insurance is very important. So term insurance. So with term insurance, the upside of term insurance is that you can get the most amount of coverage for a lower price, right? You can get more benefits with and more. You can get more of a death benefit, and you can lower your monthly premiums without such a harsh change to what's available to you. So, and then also with term insurance, the downside of it is that it expires. So term being a term of 10, 15, 20, or 30 years. This is the type of insurance that you would use, for instance, like I said, if you want to make sure you pay off your mortgage. This would be something that you could use to cover a home mortgage, house, or something like that. There's also different options within term insurance. For example, like I mentioned with mortgage, if you were to use a term insurance policy to make sure that if something happened to you, your mortgage would be covered, you would use what's called a decreasing term. So it's designed for your need of protection, which is your benefit amount, to decrease along with the process of your house as you're paying off your mortgage. Of course, if you have a mortgage of $300,000 and you've paid, just over $100,000 into it, then you don't need a full $300,000 term policy for that. You only need what needs to be covered. So that's how that works there. Most of the time, if you're going to use a term policy for your primary insurance, you want to make sure you go with the level term, so it's not decreasing as you're going up in age. There's some other different features and benefits as well with the term policy. If you maybe find that coverage for a permanent policy may be a little bit much for you to afford at this point, but you might be able to afford it in the future, you can start with the term policy. And some of them are convertible, where you can convert it into a whole life or universal life policy. Just depends on the carrier, and the different options that you choose to go with there. So return of premium term. This is a type of term insurance that isn't around as much anymore, just because it can be a bit expensive for the carrier. So they've kind of tried to phase it out a little bit, but some carriers still do offer it. The upside to a return of premium term policy is that it's the same as a regular term, as far as you have a set amount of time where the policy expires after 10, 20, 15, or 30 years. But with the return of premium term policy, you get 100% of your premium back when you outlive the policy. So say you get a policy, $100 return of premium term, and for 10 years, and so you pay into that and you live longer than that 10 years, your policy is up, you get all of your money that you paid into that policy back. A downside of this policy is a slightly more expensive than a regular term policy. But if you're looking to, make sure that you can get that investment back if you don't use it, then absolutely, it's definitely a good option to take. You just have to talk to one of my experienced directors, and they will help you take a look at what your options would be with that. Permanent insurance. Now, there are a lot of different permanent insurance. The most common is the IUL, which is the Indexed Universal Life Policy. The upside to a permanent policy is they go up to 121 years of age. We know that Black people, we live a long time, well into our 90s, hundreds. If you have recently gone vegan, you might probably want to look at look at that one because you might be living a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely trying to max it out, you know, in them years as much as I can, right? I think most of us will. So if you are planning to live a long life, you definitely want to look at eventually getting a permanent insurance policy. Another advantage is tax advantage. So you don't pay taxes on your benefits, be that cash value or your death benefit with your permanent policy. Another upside is equity. Like I said, life insurance is the only is the only vehicle that can help you build an instant estate. In layman's terms, you can take that to the bank. And then also, like I said, you can also set yourself up for lifetime income to where you don't have to worry about working for the rest of your life. You don't have to live off of whatever Social Security decides to send you. You can make sure that you are set into your old age. Downsides of permanent policies are they are more expensive than both the term and the return of premium term policies, especially if you are a smoker or have certain health conditions. It can really raise the premiums up on there. So again, I'm going to stress, hey, y'all know I'm into fitness and finances. Make sure that you are looking out for your health. Your health is so important, not just with insurance, but with a lot of things. So life happens, y'all. If you pass too soon, like I said, you need the death benefit. That is the money that you leave behind to your family, your beneficiary, to make sure that they're able to take care of afterlife expenses. If you become disabled, which happens a lot in our community, we were actually just talking about it earlier. You know, a lot of times, you know, our teenagers are getting shot. They're ending up in wheelchairs and they're not able to get the resources that other people are privy to, just for the simple fact that they don't have things like life insurance where they can afford the best type of medical coverage and things like that. So definitely something to look into. And if you live a long life, like I said, you live past 80, 90, 100, you're going to need income. You're not going to want to get up and go to work at that age. I don't even want to get up and go to work at my age. So for sure, definitely, if you live a long life, you're going to need that. Are you prepared? If you are not, phone number, email is on the screen. Get in touch with me on any of those social media sites. I will put you in contact with one of my very experienced directors, and we will make sure that you get the best and most affordable coverage for you and your family. Questions? Anybody?
I didn't see any questions in there. I've seen a bunch of comments. Thank you for the presentation coming on tonight.
Sure.
I don't think I want to live for 121 years, though. I'm already getting tired of human beings right now.
Right.
But you know, one of the things that I did want to ask you, because there are the different policies, and I know people know me, I'm always about making sure the right policies are in place, especially when we talk about the people that are economically impacted in some of the communities that we work in. I typically recommend the term policy just so that people can have coverage. You know, we at a place right now where a regular term policy is affordable. They could get it in their budget realistically right now. And I think that's, you know, the focus area that we try to like home people in. Again, it is great for community to reach out to the different advisors, reach out to you. Every person's financial situation is going to be different. But for me, the community, the people that we represent in some of the areas that we're doing the work in, we just need to have something, right? And I think
Right.
most of these term policies, whether they 15, 20, 30 years, $2 million coverage, you can get for about $99 a month. You could probably
Right.
get
Even cheaper than that.
right for cheaper than that. And that's what I really want the community to get out of this. Have something. I am tired of
Yes,
GoFundMe.
yes, for sure.
I see it.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you can't do $1 million worth of coverage, $200 a month right now, that is okay. Put your $25 a month into a nice size term policy. Do it. Make sure that you are covered. You're absolutely right, Mr. Henry. And a term policy, like we said, it's great. It has the best, you get the most benefits for the least amount of money. The only downside is that it has an expiration date. But like I said, you can either decide to renew that policy, do another term policy. Maybe you do 20 years this time, or maybe you go ahead and say, you know what, I'm in a better place now. I want to convert to a permanent policy. You can do that. But for sure, absolutely, a term policy is the way you want to go. Make sure that you have some type of coverage. I don't care if it's $10, $25 a month, $50 a month. Make sure that you're putting something down to take care of yourself and your family. This world is dangerous. Unfortunately, I wish I could save the world. I wish I could just go out there and just be a superhero and stop everybody from dying, but I can't. The best I can do is helping y'all make sure that your pockets don't die with you. So, but yeah, absolutely. I think that term insurance is definitely the best option. I think it's the best option, period. I also want to let people know that you don't have to, there's no rule that says you can only have one life insurance policy. If you please feel free to look at all your options, look at blended coverage, look at doing more than one type of policy, more than one policy, period. A lot of times, only the highest death benefit amount will pay out, but usually all of your cash value or interest goes to your family estate, so you don't lose all of that. But absolutely, there's definitely different ways to get yourself covered. And a term policy is the best way to go if you are financially strapped, or if you're not looking to make a lifetime investment. Some people just don't lock in like that. I understand, it's hard to kind of get that trust, and then it also, when you have an obligation like that, it can kind of feel, like a bill. You don't want it to be a bill. It's an investment. You're investing in yourself and in your future and in your safety. So absolutely remember that you can, not only just do a term, but you can convert those terms, and you can do more than one life insurance policy at a time. And blended coverage is absolutely great to have, because it covers multiple avenues. You're able to grow cash value, get the benefits of all the different types of financial vehicles, but you're also, covering yourself in case of those tragic situations.
Well, I'm gonna take it a step further. I don't care if people think it's a bill. Life insurance need to be part of your budget. So while you're sitting at home creating your budget, I want to see life insurance in every home, every family, everyone in our community. Okay, I don't care if it's $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month. We pay for cable, we pay for cell phones, we buy all the latest Jordans. We do all of this stuff. We traveling. You look around, people everywhere. I would like to see everyone out there put life insurance as the top priority. That is a bill. That is a necessity. It is something that we need, and we have to speak to the people like that, because again, I do this financial work. looking at people's finances. And again, I see people spending money, $60, $80, $90 a month for gym, fitness, personal trainers. They never go. Okay. Life to have it. So I'm not going to sit here and say people think of it as a bill. I don't care if they think of it as a bill. I want it in your budget. I want that paid before you pay your cell phone bill, before you pay your PG&E, your cable, before you buy the pair of Jordans. I want that in the budget first, because it's too many people losing their life, not just the gun violence, but any type of loss. COVID was a great experience of people losing life. And there was a lot of people who didn't have the proper coverages, and we need to make sure that that's the way we're talking to community. We need it in your budget. I know for sure you can get a term policy, at least $150,000 to $250,000 for less than $29 a month. Please, people, get out there, get some insurance. I am tired. I'm going to say it again. I am tired. I only have so many donations left in me when it comes to this GoFundMe. I'm starting to get mad. I'm like, I bring people on my platform to educate you about insurance. It shouldn't be a problem. But again, we still having young people in the community. We still having the elders in the community passing away, and there's no life insurance. And we have all these GoFundMes and car washes and dinners and people begging. No. We need life insurance, so I'm going to just keep pushing that. We got to do it. It's part of the financial literacy. And the reason why I'm not so big, and I know I told you this last time, the reason why I'm not so big on the whole life policies, because typically those are the people who run people in our community sometimes away from getting it, right? Because they sell people with the intent of, oh, you can use this policy to go to college and buy a house and all of that. And they don't tell the people about the premiums and the increased cost that happens over time. And they sell them and they catch them because they have kids and they thinking about getting their kids into college. Not saying that that's you, but that typically
No, I understand.
And then the premiums get so high that the people can't afford the policy elapsed. Now we have no coverage. We cannot do that. But again, while you're here tonight, one of the basic gems that you dropped tonight for community was make sure that you have a life insurance policy outside of work. I think that's need to be said over and over again. Too many times people have jobs, they work for city and county, they work for the state, they work for the feds, different corporations, and they say, hey, John, I have life insurance at my job. I got $1 million, $2 million of life insurance. Well, what happened when you lose that job? Here in America, we know Black and brown communities are the first to be fired, let go, laid off. You might lose that job in that working span. So you want to have your own policy in place. And again, that's why I think the term policy is very critical for the community. You can get $1 million, $2 million policy for less than $100 a month in most cases. There are things that you have to do with health screening and checks and things of that nature, but you should have your personal policy outside of your employer to make sure that you have that coverage, especially getting young. For all our young workers out there just coming in the workforce, you want to make sure that you get life insurance now outside of your job. Pay that little $50, $100 a month, whatever it is now. If you lose a job or you transfer to another job, you still have your personal policy, because as you get older, your health start to break down, and then some of those health ailments will affect the policies and the type of stuff that you'll be able to cover your family. But here at both sides of the conversation, since we intentionally are educating people about financial literacy, we bring in phenomenal sisters like you on to talk about financial literacy. I don't want our people dependent on the insurance to leave generational wealth. We're trying to teach our people how to get financially stable, how to set up a debt, get rid of the debt, how to build wealth, how to invest, so that you'll have those different investments, so that the insurance is not the only thing that you're banking on, but it's something that we definitely should have, because you never know when that call of death is going to happen. We just had in the pandemic, millions and millions of people wasn't expected to died. And with this violence in our community, you never know when something tragic can take place or happen. And we want to make sure we have the coverages. And one thing I want to make sure that you understand, that you said about the wealth of the insurance, but we also have to understand that the lack of insurance is one of the biggest wealth disparities that the Black community lose when people don't have these coverages. Typically, the grandmothers, the elders of the community, they put their houses up, they take out loans, and sometimes your death can put a burden on a family's wealth. So we want to make sure we protect our assets. We want to protect this wealth. Too many times in this country, we lose our wealth from different things. We lose our businesses. Insurance is very important. We have to keep talking about it, because this is what we need. We have the largest break-in, loss. I was just talking to somebody who lost all of their equipment being stolen, and they didn't have insurance. And it's like we gotta educate the community about this insurance. Like you said, it's something that we have to have, like carrying anything else. You have to have insurance to drive a car. You have to have insurance for a house. Why are we not putting life insurance on ourselves? Why are we not protecting the things that's of value that brings us money? We have to be prepared for the rainy day. And sometimes we let the budget and the money affect us, but we want to protect those assets because, again, the only way we move that generational wealth when loss or tragic happen is through those insurance policies. And we have to have it. So thank you again for that information. I see it was one more slide. Did I cut your slides off too fast? Was it one more up there? Was this supposed to be up there? Oh, that's just your contact information, I think.
That's just that's a brochure.
Okay. I was trying to make sure I seen that up there. I didn't want to cut your presentation too short. You said, John, you cut my presentation too short. Okay. All right. Well, no, that's fine. But did you have any other things? I know that you offer other services, so I just want community to know not only life insurance, there's other financial services that they offer.
Right.
We definitely want to get our people investing, doing different things to have those multiple streams of income, and making sure that we get 65%. What did I say the last time? What did I say the last time? Did you remember what I said about investing? What did I tell the people that's retiring and doing investing? I want to see if you remember.
Oh, good Lord. Look, now that was months ago.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give it back to you again. When you start selling the stocks and the investment, we want 65% of our people's income in index funded accounts. We're not going to sell them all those mutual funds that's going to get hit up with a bunch of calls. We want to make sure that when we're doing these stock brokerage accounts and we're teaching our people about investing, we want to make sure that 65% of their investments are in index funded accounts. I'm giving up the gems and the sauce to the community because I want my people to know, because there are people out there trying to get our people into the arena of investing. And we teach baby steps into investing. We teach a debt-free class, and I want to make sure that our people know out there, because I'm tired of this too. I'm tired of seeing my elders in the community and people who work 20, 30 years retiring, and they don't have the proper amount of retirement funds when they retire. And a lot of it is because they don't know, and they just think that the companies are investing in them. But we got to educate our community as well. When you're trying to get ready for retirement and you're starting to get into brokerage accounts, and you're seeking people like Lemitra and different community people that are selling policies. My guy Art Burton, got to get him back on here. We got to make sure that 65% of the investment that our people that are working for their retirement is in index funded accounts. The rest can go into mutual funds, CDs, and different things of that nature. But we want to make sure the majority of the wealth is in the index funded accounts, because over time, those accounts typically are there, and they bounce well up and down with the market. And again, the reason why I'm telling y'all this information is because most of the wealthy people in this country, okay, the billionaires, the top 1%, they don't tell you this information. When you walk to start up a brokerage account, they're not going to tell you anything about an index and funded account. Okay, I can guarantee you they're going to sell you mutual funds. They're going to sell you everything else, and they're not going to say nothing about an index. Okay, so I'm giving you guys the information. When you go in there, you start up a brokerage account, and you're talking about investment and retirement, first thing you want to tell them is, I want 65% of whatever you're selling me, I want it in an index funded account. And they're going to look at you and go, oh, okay. So they can say, oh, you know what you're talking about. Believe me, they're not going to tell you when you walk in there. I don't care where you go, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, whoever. I guarantee you, I've done the test. They are not going to talk about index funded accounts. I'm just giving y'all the game. Okay. They're not going to tell you about those accounts. I'm just being real. Not that they're being shady. Not that they're being shady. They're just not going to tell you.
That's how come we're making such huge strides. Like I showed you the numbers with Black and brown people and in the communities. We're making huge strides because we're giving people the information. When you come and sit down with us, it's not just, oh yeah, you know how much you want to spend. Okay, we're gonna hook this up for you. No, I'm gonna tell you about this policy, how it works, what the benefits and features are, what your payments are gonna be, how your investments are gonna go. In 5 years, it's gonna look like this. In 10 years, it's gonna look like that. You know, we're going to look at, okay, so this is your financial portfolio. Right now, do you have tax-free income? Do you have lifetime income? Do you have savings towards, this, towards that? Is this covered? Do you own a house? Is that covered? We're going to make sure that you know all the ins and outs. If you don't understand what index means, if you don't really know how to fund a 401k, if you don't know much about annuities, but you kind of wanted to, we're here for that. This is what we're here for, so that people from these big companies can't keep coming into our community and taking the money without really giving the resource. So
exactly. Absolutely. And what she's talking about is poverty pimps. And y'all know I'm big on these poverty pimps coming to our community, taking advantage of our people. We ain't gonna let it happen. Here at Both Sides of the Conversation, we're gonna make sure intentionally we give you the proper game, the proper information. So when you're going to them precious dollars that you work so hard for, we make sure that they preserve and they get to the next generation as we build this generational wealth. So phenomenal conversation. Thank you. I just wanted to highlight that. I didn't want to take over, but I wanted to let people know because a lot of times in our community, they don't understand the dynamics of what we go through financially and how we live, some of our historic things that's impacted us in our thinking about money and things of that nature. So it's very powerful, okay? Very phenomenal and amazing to see you in the industry. And again, I want more of my young people to get into the financial markets, to really bring back that information to the community, to help uplift our community, because I think the only way we get to where we need to is through financial freedom. I'm a believer of it. We can't build wealth. We cannot get the things, and we can't stop the crime, and we can't stop the violence if we don't get our community financially equipped to deal with the changes of what's going on here in America. And I'm just happy to have you. I like to have somebody that looks like me representing my dollars, okay? But you have to remember the 65% of the index fund account. And if I got to text you every day and say, hey, all the clients today, 65%, okay.
You got it right here, 65% investments in index funded accounts. I got it right here.
So I just want to make sure, because again, we're trying to get our community to reach out to you and people like you that's doing this work. And I just want to make sure that our people are getting that good information. And I need you to be the one to think when you see their finances and what they're trying to do, the risk factors, and understand, hey, I want to make sure you're making some income and making some money on your money, but I also want to make sure that you're safe and protected, right? Because we don't have that luxury to take the certain risk. It sounds good. You could turn your money over 14%, but we have to think reality for our community and for our people. So happy to have you on again. I am glad you are here. For community out there, please reach out to the sister, set up a consultation. Yeah, we gotta make the financial thing cool, like mental health in our community. We have to have these conversations about finances. So please reach out to the sister. If you have a question, if you like shy, you don't want to put a comment up here, reach out to her later. Ask her some questions. Her information is here on the screen. Reach out to her, talk to her, ask some questions. I know she's a phenomenal sister, always willing to help and give back. So I want to make sure community are talking to people who understands the needs and what we need to financially impact and improve our community, because we're going to need ownership. So the products and the things that she's selling is going to make sure that we're building wealth, to make sure that we get into home ownership and business ownership, because that's the only way we're going to really truly impact our Black and brown communities, is through ownership. The power is through ownership, and we need to build those dollars up through investments, through organizations like PHP and the work you're doing. We're going to send all of the people over to you, sister. Make sure you take care of them. 65%. If they come to you and they don't know, we're going to make sure. When they asking about retirement, we want to try to get them to a point where they put 15% of their gross income into those retirement accounts, and preferably making sure that a percentage of that money goes into the Roth IRAs, because we know once people retire, they want to take out money to pay off their houses or cars. That tax impact for people who don't know, they have 401ks and different things of that nature. When they remove that money with those tax-free accounts, they get penalized, and they get penalized hard. So I want to make sure the elders in the community, I want to make sure the seniors in the community, or the young people that's getting close to retirement, make sure you max out those Roth IRA accounts, pay the taxes up front. so that
If
when
you have a 401k or Roth IRA, give us a call. We can show you how that works, how to fund it properly, all of that. Absolutely.
Definitely. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I'm gonna be putting a series of financial workshops together with a bunch of community financial experts. Okay, we're gonna have people from the Black community, people from the Brown community, and we're gonna put something together. And we're gonna do something powerful to impact our young people, impact the people of the community, as well as our elders, because there's a lot of people that's in senior homes. They didn't get this information and they don't know. And there's sometimes people managing their money, and we want to make sure they're informed so that they can ask the right questions for the people that's handling their money as well. Got to protect our elders, especially in this time of transition. Community, I want everybody to know cryptocurrency is here to stay. Digital currency is here to stay. The Treasury just put out information that they're looking at their digital currency. So we got to equip our elders of the community and our young people of the community, understand what that looks like. I don't know if you all see it, but I'm going around the stores and there's less coins. They ask you to bring the exact change because they're taking the coins out of circulation. Next, they'll be taking the paper dollars out of circulation. So we got to give our community this information. We got to give this great information to the people. Understand things are changing and we got to keep our people ahead of the change, because what happens is things change. We find out later and we suffer. We want to get ahead of this educational curve when it comes to this financial information, financial literacy. And I'm glad you're here, and we'll continue to connect. And as you learn the new information, come on and bring it to the people so that they can get ahead of the curve and we can stay winning. We need this information to have that positive impact. All right. Yeah. With that being said, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we end tonight's segment? Do you have anything that you want to let people know? Any of your businesses, any of your websites, any way to connect you? Tell them now. We can get it out to the community.
Yes. Well, first, thank you, Mr. John Henry, so much for having me on. I really appreciate you just even building this platform to let us get out here, get this information to the people and to the community. I'm just, man, I'm so glad that we got a chance to connect and do this, because, it's hard to reach people, without networking and collaborating and things like that. And so I want everyone to, just keep tuning in. Check me out, Black Balance Fitness. As you see on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, I'm everywhere. We got the Mentality Masterclass coming up. We got the interview with the boss, the Financial Fitness Forum. Also, like I said, I'm into fitness and finances. So I got a sporting goods website, blackbalancefitness.com. Check out Black Balance Fitness TV on YouTube for our workout of the week, our healthy recipe of the week, and all more things to come. I actually have a interview with the author coming up soon, a book about teaching, learning, and the culture of, just being a leader. And so we're really going to be diving into the subject of leadership, financial literacy. We've dived into relationships. We do it all at Black Balance Fitness. We do it all. If it has to do with family, community, being physically, mentally, spiritually fit, you can find it right there on Black Balance Fitness. So y'all keep tuning in, keep looking out, call me, email me, hit me up on one of these social media sites, get in touch with me, and let me see how I can help you.
Powerful. Thank you very much, sister. Y'all see that? Fitness is important. The mental health part of fitness, the financial part, this sister's covering it all. Don't tell me we don't have people out here making things happen. Just beautiful. Again, thank you for coming on, blessing the community, because a lot of times what happens in our community as people clam the financial, educational letter, the corporate letter, they forget to come back and get that information to the community. So we appreciate you volunteering, giving your time to come on here, bless the people with some information that some people might not necessarily get. So tonight we have another segment where you've been educated, you've got some sauce. You could go back and watch this on our YouTube, our website, and share. Because again, we got to make this conversation about financial wellness important, just as well as mental health. It all plays in the part together. So I like how you got it all with the fitness, the finance, everything. And I think that's very, very powerful. So again, thank you again, sister. Looking forward to connecting with you in the future. And I'll definitely be sending people and different organizations who want to connect with you to get these type of educational presentations in their facility or in their organization. Always keep you in mind, and make sure that information gets out there. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in for tonight's Educational Thursday. Don't forget, this Sunday we are having a powerful conversation about reparations. This is going to be an epic conversation. I can tell you now, we're going to go over. I know the show is typically 2 to 4, but it's going to go over because I know the people that's coming on, they're very passionate about our people, about the things that's been done to our people, and what they expect for the things that have been done for our people. So this reparation conversation is going to be very, very powerful. It's going to be very intense. I can tell you now. So our allies that's watching, if you don't want to hear some passionate Black folks, I can tell you right now, you probably don't want to tune in this Sunday because you're going to get it real. It's going to be uncut and it's going to be deep. Okay. But it's going to be real how people feel. But we got to get this information as we start creating the solutions and the ideals of what reparations look like, how they're going to impact our community, and some of the things that's going to take place if reparations is finalized, and how it's going to impact community. So I think it's going to be a phenomenal conversation. Looking forward to it. Looking for the panelists. Again, we still have a few spots. I apologize. We had some issues with our booking. So it was showing that it was booked. A number of people was texting me saying, hey, I want to get on this conversation. It won't let me book. We fixed that issue. There's still a few spots left. If you want to be on for this Sunday's conversation, go ahead and book yourself on our website at bothsidesoftheconversation.org, or you could check us out on our website, www.bsotc.org as well. And then next Tuesday, we'll have another phenomenal lineup of people that's going to be coming on our Hidden Gem segment, some Black and brown businesses, some community leaders, and we'll have that segment as well. And then next Thursday, we'll have Officer Lim from the SFPD coming on to educate the safety about 4th of July as we approach the 4th of July weekend. Very important information. A lot of times we just have fun and see the fireworks, but we don't see the people who get their hands blown off. We don't see the accidents that take place. A lot of things happen. So they're going to do a safety presentation for community and just kind of educate people about the laws and how they're going to be enforcing different things so that people don't get caught up last minute with some of those things. So looking forward to seeing you all this Sunday. Thank you for tuning in to this night's educational presentation. I think it was very powerful, very phenomenal, powerful guest. Again, if you want to do a presentation, if you have an idea or you have something in your industry that you feel our community needs to have, please go to our website, sign up, and we can have you come on as a presenter to present for community as well. So with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you all this Sunday. Be safe out there. We know the violence is increased. Be careful, young people. Take your time, be patient, control your emotions if you can. Think about your life. Not worth it if you make the wrong decision when you're upset. So with that being said, we love you. We see you all soon. We'll see you this Sunday. Have a blessed evening, everyone.